You can see the bubbles. That's all healthy ferment. She's trying to... So this is this morning's breakfast. We've taken... They've eaten it all. We have taken to switching our feed up a little bit. This is our jerk of a freaking rooster that's gonna have a come to Jesus moment in a minute here. I don't know about you guys, but we have had a significant increase in our costs for our chicken feed, and it's getting expensive. Very expensive to keep these girls well fed. Our feed has gone up about 10% from when we first got the chickens, and we got the chickens back in March. It's now August, and we've already seen quite a significant increase in our feed. So we started looking into different ways to cut down our food costs. Both Rochelle and I are at home. We homestead full-time. We YouTube full-time, and we're by no means rich at all. So we scrape by, but we're living a life that we really enjoy, so we make the best of it. So anyways, we started looking into different ways to make sure our sweet little chickens were being fed, and we came up with fermenting their feed, and it actually has worked out really well. It's super easy to do. I'm going to show you guys how to do it, and it doesn't take any time. Look at the reds. I have graham crackers for our goats, and these girls think that they're going to get some. These reds are the sweetest chickens. That's the jerk. He's being okay right now though, so we won't have to embarrass him on camera. All right, so the fermented feed is a little bit more time consuming as opposed to just going out there and scooping up your feed and putting it in their feeder and walking away. There's a little bit to it. So easy, not a lot. It helps, it saves money, and the chickens really like it. The fermented feed adds a lot of really good probiotics into their digestive system. And as you can see, that was from this morning, and they've eaten, those whole bowls were completely filled. They've eaten it all. You see, she wants the silly chicken. Graham crackers are not for chickens, they're for goats. This is Jabba. He's so handsome, but nobody likes him. When I say nobody, I mean the chickens. We, the people, do like him. Nene in particular loves Jabba. He's very handsome. So our chickens are 5 to 6 months old. So they're on layer feed now because they started laying eggs, and they're on scratch. So we use scratch like this. So we use 1 scoop, just 1 scoop, red Solo cup. And then we use layer feed. And it's crumble. It's not the really fine stuff. It's the crumble. Let me see if I can get it for you. The rule of thumb, if you don't have chickens that free range like ours are out all day. They go out around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and they don't come in until 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. They put themselves to bed. They're fabulous, along with the guineas. But for right now, because they are out all day foraging and free ranging, we don't worry about adding anything additional to their diet. So they get their fermented feed in the morning, 2 huge bowls of it. It's gone immediately. And then in the afternoon, they get snacks. So they'll either get veggies or fruit or leftover pasta from the previous night, rice, you name it. They'll eat anything. So I'm going to take you inside. I'm going to show you how that's done. What we do is we give that fermented feed. And then on top, I add, because the girls have started laying, pulverized eggshells. Can you see in there? There. So I add the pulverized eggshells back onto the top of the feed, like sprinkles, to add a little bit more calcium into their diet. So it helps to make a stronger shell. The girls' shells really aren't weak. We haven't had any issues, but I just like to be a little bit more proactive than having to deal with a situation. So that's kind of where we're at. Okay, I'm gonna take you inside and show you how it's done. All right, so I showed you this morning the type of chicken scratch and the layer crumble that we use for this recipe. Now, I'm gonna show you how we did it. I filled it up this morning. This is from this morning. I filled up the jar to about here with layer crumble and then 1 scoop of scratch. Most of it's layer crumble. And then I added the liquid from this morning's jar, the leftover liquid, I added into here, and then I filled the rest up with water. So this is how much so far it's grown just from this morning. All right, you can see there's no real fermentation going on right now. It's still soaking up all the water. This is day 1, okay? This is what we did this morning. Day 2. And this is what I did yesterday. So yesterday, we added the same amount, layer crumble, with your scratch in the water and the previous day's liquid into here. The previous day's liquid, or the liquid that you use that morning when you feed them, that liquid starts to jumpstart the whole fermentation process. And then on the top, you can see it's literally all used up, all the water. So I have water right here, and we're going to add water to it. You need the water in there because you want to have, first of all, you want the fermentation liquid to use for the next day. It needs the water to ferment. And I'm just going to stir this up, get it all in there. So this is day 2. You can see it's coming along nicely. And there, you can definitely see that it's starting to ferment on the bottom here. But you want to see, you can see that's already sunk. So what happens is there's a big air bubble that was down in here. So we stir it, get it all mixed up again, add some more water, and then let it sit for another 24 hours. Let's see. So this is day 2. Again, we started with a half a container of layer feed and 1 scoop of scratch. And this is what it's expanded to. This has been fermenting for a total of 48 hours. So tomorrow, this is the fermented food that we're going to use for our babies. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm going to move this jar, and it's going to look like there's squiggles coming up through the jar because you can see that it's starting to bubble, which is exactly what you want to see. On the top of this jar, you're going to see like a grayish cloudiness on the top, on this, like this, you skim the top of it, and that's Com's yeast, and that's perfectly normal. Don't throw it out because it's normal. It's expected. You can see it when you ferment your own food too. You can see that yeast on the top. If it bothers you, you can skim it off, but you don't have to worry about it. It's not going to hurt your chickens. All right, so here we go. There it is. I know it looks nasty. You can see the bubbles. That's all healthy ferment. All good probiotics in here. This is full of it. You can see the difference in the consistency too. So this is 24 hours. Again, this was today's. You can see how it's chunkier. And then this one's obviously smoother because it's been sitting for a total of 24. And this is 48. Sometimes you can see it move. The bubbles will move right up the side of the jar. Now tomorrow, when we go to use this, it will be, there you go. Oh no, you probably didn't catch that. It'll be bubbling even more, and you just take it, pour it into your dishes, and the chickens love it. I was worried because I didn't think the chickens were going to take to it because it's different. You know, our chickens are kind of picky. But they love it. As you can see, those dishes are empty, and that was from this morning. Now, they are due for their afternoon snack. And like I said, they do free range, so they get a variety of bugs, greens, anything that they want. They got into the garden, so they had quite a bit of tomato. Actually, not a lot of tomato. They just poked a lot of holes in my tomatoes. But they do have free range of 20 acres, so they can go where they want. Actually, a lot of fun. And we really enjoy having them. But with everything, when you're running a small homestead, you have to be very aware of costs. And right now, this is saving us. This is helping. This is cutting down on our food costs for our chickens. It's giving them a healthier diet because of all the good probiotics. And we're very fortunate that we have this. We're very fortunate that we have our chickens because we love them. All right. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave any comments down below. Be more than happy to give you the recipe or write it out for y'all if anybody wants to know. Thanks everyone for watching. Till the next time on the Homestead.